Now we're going to go to my friend Andrew Major, who's actually on vacation on the East Coast, taking time away from Nantucket. Andrew, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me. I wouldn't miss this. So happy to be here.
Well, dude, I really appreciate you helping us out and teaching us a little bit about this beautiful Tavel Rosé. And
Yes.
Andrew, you work for Kermit Lynch.
Yes. Worked for Kermit Lynch for 2 years here in Los Angeles, or there in Los Angeles.
How do we
Yeah.
pronounce the name of our Tavel producer today?
It's Trinquevedel. So Trinquevedel.
And we're tasting the 2021, which as a vintage in France has kind of a checkered, look because it was a pretty severe winter or a wet year, pretty rainy, a lot of hail, a lot of frost, a lot of
Mhm.
issues. Now, the wines that come out of 2021 are probably smaller productions and
Yes.
probably higher selections. So we're not saying run from 21 at all, but just know that the vintage will probably be here just for a moment and then it'll be gone because it was such a small year. And 2022 is kind of a big year.
It's a big year, but I will say with 2021, a lot of us are actually running towards it because I was just there doing a 2-week trip with the staff, and the further south we got, the better the 21s got. And actually in the south, it even though it's known as a cooler vintage, things were ripened phenolically. It's really one of the best vintages in the south of France, and winemaker after winemaker were telling us like 21 is our favorite vintage in memory, or one of the favorite vintages that they've had in a long time. And we totally agree. The further south we got, the better the 21s got. And so I think, with this 21 and a lot of others, it really shows.
Let's get into Tavel, and we're focused on the Rhone Valley, so we're going to look at different parts of the Rhone map, and it is an iconic rosé dominated appellation. They do make other wines than rosé.
They do, but it's the only AOC that that's made up entirely of rosé. So if you make a white or a red, you can't put Tavel on it. Only the rosés. They started and got their AOC status back in 1936, which is exactly when this Chateau, started up in 36.
Very cool. And it maintains is it still in its fourth generation?
Yes, Guillaume de Moulin is the winemaker, fourth generation, and it's about 32 hectares of fruit. It's all hillside. You see the color of Tavel rosés, they're typically darker and more red. And to a lot of American drinkers, they think that means sweet, that the wine is going to be sugary, and we don't like that. But in fact, it's dry, bone dry. Almost all the rosé that comes out of Tavel is bone dry.
Yeah, it's kind of like an in-betweener too, because these rosés are kind of built to age and take on some personality, and so you don't have to be in a rush to drink a Tavel. I wouldn't say you don't want to put them away for 20 years, but they are very capable of improving over 2 to 5.
Yeah, and this place historically, the wines are famous for aging because it's a very Mediterranean climate, which allows wines to get the structure in the body and the ripeness that requires long-term aging. They're getting a lot of sunshine and a lot of warmth without being super, super hot. And then the nights are pretty cool down there. And that just allows for a longer hang time.
So you've got vine age, you've got sustainable practices, you've got these, like, almost see the vine spacing here. It's untrained, untrellised. These are thriving vines that are allowed to craft their berries, and they do so in this kind of old vine notion, And you can see even here where the new vines are coming in and they're starting to put in a little bit more modern vineyard practices. But small operation, family operation.
Yep, yep. Small operation. I'm trying to remember the case amount, but it's not an overly large amount that's made.
Yeah, I don't see this wine in a ton of places, but you probably will find it in great French bistros, French focused wine stores. There are many Tavel producers. This is listed in the upper echelon, and 93 points is no slouchy score. The grape varieties here, we're looking at Grenache, and we're going to talk a lot today about Grenache based wines. And another kind of amazing feature for this wine, I loved it. There's a really great price on the product, and we've taken a good position on it. I don't think for less than $20 you can get a better rosé. I don't think you can get a more classic rosé, and I'm talking about rosé of the world. Correct me if I'm wrong here. This wine is 100% direct to press, or is there a Signé involved?
It's 100% direct press. It ferments in cold tanks for around 20 days in stainless steel, and then it ages for about 6 to 9 months, and then it's released in bottle. It doesn't go through any malolactic fermentation, so that's gonna preserve the freshness and acidity that you hope to get from a rosé.
Tavel's, typically range between $25 and $45.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great value proposition. I love it, and thank you for sharing it with us today.
Yeah, thanks for making it part of your lineup.